Hello guys, sorry for the long delay in the video. So this time we will discuss AWS Simple Storage Service. We will also discuss few configuration details of S3 bucket. So let's get started. Hey guys, so here we are in the AWS Management Console, and from here we're going to go to the Find Services section. We're going to type in S3. You can see S3 in the search under Services. Now click on S3. Here we are at our S3 management dashboard, so there's a lot of overwhelming details here, so let's just take a look at what's going on. Amazon S3 Access Points simplify managing data access at scale for shared datasets in S3. S3 Batch Operations is an Amazon S3 data management feature. With this feature, you can make changes to object metadata and properties, or perform other storage management tasks, such as copying objects between buckets, replacing object tag sets, modifying access controls, and restoring archived objects from S3. Access Analyzer for S3 is a new feature that monitors your access policies, ensuring that the policies provide only the intended access to your S3 resources. Access Analyzer for S3 evaluates your bucket access policies and enables you to discover and swiftly remediate buckets with potentially unintended access. Every object in Amazon S3 is stored in a bucket. Before you can store data in Amazon S3, you must create a bucket. To create a bucket, choose Create Bucket. The Create Bucket page opens. In Bucket Name, enter a name for your bucket. The bucket name must be unique across all of Amazon S3, it must be between 3 and 63 characters long, it must not contain uppercase characters, it must start with a lowercase letter or number. After you create the bucket, you can't change its name. In Region, choose the AWS region where you want the bucket to reside. Choose a region that is close to you geographically to minimize latency and costs and to address regulatory requirements. You can copy the setting of an existing bucket from Copy Settings from the existing bucket. For this, click on Choose Bucket. Here you will find the list of all buckets you have created earlier. But right now we don't have any existing bucket, so let's move forward. In Bucket Settings for Block Public Access, keep the values set to the defaults. By default, Amazon S3 blocks all public access to your buckets. We recommend that you keep all block public access settings enabled. Versioning in Amazon S3 is a means of keeping multiple variants of an object in the same bucket. You can use the S3 versioning feature to preserve, retrieve, and restore every version of every object stored in your buckets. To enable it, enable the bucket versioning option. To track the storage cost or other criteria for individual projects or groups of projects, label your Amazon S3 buckets using cost allocation tags. A cost allocation tag is a key value pair that you associate with an S3 bucket. With Amazon S3 Default Encryption, you can set the default encryption behavior for an S3 bucket so that all new objects are encrypted when they are stored in the bucket. The objects are encrypted using server-side encryption with either Amazon S3 Managed Keys (SSAS3) or Customer Master Keys (CMKs) stored in AWS Key Management Service (AWS KMS, SSAKMS). For now, we disable the default encryption. Now let's go into an advanced setting. With S3 Object Lock, you can store objects using a write once read many (WORM) model. You can use it to prevent an object from being deleted or overwritten for a fixed amount of time or indefinitely. Let's keep it default. Now click on Create Bucket. Now you can see the bucket is created. Let us upload the file into the bucket. For this, in the buckets list, choose the name of the bucket that you want to upload your folders or files to. Choose Upload. In the Upload window, do one of the following: drag and drop files and folders to the upload window. Choose Add File or Add a Folder, choose Files or Folders to upload, and choose Open. To upload the listed files and folders without configuring additional upload options, at the bottom of the page, choose Upload. Amazon S3 uploads your objects and folders. When the upload completes, you can see a success message on the Upload status page. Now you can go to the path where the file is uploaded by clicking on the destination. You can see the file name in the list. Click on the file name. In this section, you can see the object overview. Here you can see the details of the object such as owner, AWS region, resource ARN, object key etc. To access the object, you need to copy the object URL. Let's copy and open URL in new window. Here you can see the access denied error. This is because our bucket is not having public access.
Once you give the public access to the bucket, you view the file.
Now, let's look into the bucket properties one by one. Go to the bucket and click on Properties. S3 Transfer Acceleration utilizes the Cloud Front Edge network to accelerate uploads to S3. Instead of directly uploading the file to S3 bucket, you will get a distinct URL that will upload the data to the nearest edge location, which in turn transfers the file to S3 bucket. To enable it, click on Edit. You can enable it by clicking Edit button and check the Enable button and then click on Save Changes. Now let's get into Requester Pays. In general, bucket owners pay for all Amazon S3 storage and data transfer costs that are associated with their bucket. However, you can configure a bucket to be a Requester Pays bucket. With Requester Pays buckets, the requester instead of the bucket owner pays the cost of the request and the data download from the bucket. The bucket owner always pays the cost of storing data. You can enable it by clicking Edit button and check the Enable button and then click on Save Changes. You can use Amazon S3 to host a static website. On a static website, individual web pages include static content. They might also contain client-side scripts. By contrast, a dynamic website relies on server-side processing, including server-side scripts such as PHP, JSP, or ASP.NET. Amazon S3 does not support server-side scripting, but AWS has other resources for hosting dynamic websites. To enable it, under Static Website Hosting, choose Edit. Choose Use this bucket to host a website. Under Static Website Hosting, choose Enable. In index document, enter the file name of the index document, typically index.html. To provide your own custom error document for 4xx class errors, in error document, enter the custom error document file name. If you want to specify advanced redirection rules, in redirection rules, enter XML to describe the rules. Choose Save Changes. Amazon S3 enables static website hosting for your bucket. At the bottom of the page, under Static Website Hosting, you see the website endpoint for your bucket. The endpoint is the Amazon S3 website endpoint for your bucket. After you finish configuring your bucket as a static website, you can use this endpoint to test your website. Right now we don't have any static website hosted. So let's get into the permission section of S3 bucket. Amazon S3 Block Public Access prevents the application of any settings that allow public access to data within S3 buckets. The List Buckets view shows whether your bucket is publicly accessible. Amazon S3 labels the permissions for a bucket. As you can see here, it is showing buckets and objects not public. You can edit this setting by choosing Edit to change the public access settings for the bucket. Choose the setting that you want to change, and then choose Save. When you're asked for confirmation, enter Confirm. Then choose Confirm to save your changes. A bucket policy is a resource-based AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM) policy. You add a bucket policy to a bucket to grant other AWS accounts or IAM users access permissions for the bucket and the objects in it. Object permissions apply only to the objects that the bucket owner creates. To configure your bucket to allow cross-origin requests, you create a CORS configuration. The CORS configuration is a document with rules that identify the origins that you will allow to access your bucket, the operations, HTTP methods, that will support each origin, and other operation-specific information. You can add up to 100 rules to the configuration. You can add the CORS configuration as the CORS subresource to the bucket. Now let us see how to access an object by setting access control in the object permission setting. Access Control Lists (ACLs) are one of the resource-based access policy options. See Overview of Managing Access that you can use to manage access to your buckets and objects. You can use ACLs to grant basic read-write permissions to other AWS accounts. In the Objects list, choose the name of the object for which you want to set permissions. Choose Permissions. You can manage object access permissions for the following: Access for Object Owner, Access for Other and AWS accounts, Public Access. To grant access to your object to the general public, everyone in the world, under Public Access, choose Everyone. Granting public access permissions means that anyone in the world can access the object. Select the checkboxes for the permissions that you want to grant, and then choose Save. Now you can copy the object URL and open it on the new tab. Now you can see the object is publicly accessible. Thank you for watching the video. In the next video, we will discuss about Lambda function in AWS.